everyone, I am Kayalvari. Welcome to my channel. I am an alum of PGPX program at IIM Ahmedabad. Today we are going to see some important tips, the last minute tips before you take your GMAT. This may be the last week in your GMAT journey and you're really nervous, looking forward for the day of examination to just ace it. I have few tips from like 1 week before the examination. That is like D before 1 week, right? So what are some tips? Generally, I suggest people to have one mock test to be taken in the last week before exam. Don't worry about what score you get in it, or don't really bother to review every question step by step and all that. Just keep it to give you that practice of sitting in one place for a long time and getting into that zone of taking an exam. So use your last official mock test to do that. If you have already exhausted your mock test, you can use even an unofficial or private mock to do this. But please keep in mind that this score is not indicative of anything, and you should not actually lose your confidence because of this mock test that you are taking. And after you have taken the mock test, don't get into any hard preparation even for like 2 or 3 days before the exam. Don't try to cram, because cramming doesn't help in such exams. If you had not prepared for like months, then you're not going to really do anything in just 2 or 3 days. But if you have already taken some notes to revise in the last minute, your error log or your learning log, whatever you keep it, you can have a look at them. I had certain concepts that were very difficult for me, which I used to keep forgetting. If you have such concepts, if you have some video lessons, online coaching that you had taken, if you want to once watch those videos, please feel free to do that. And before like 2 or at least 3 days before your exam, go through the mba.com instructions, whatever has been given for GMAT completely. Just don't take it light because you had already read it. Do a final reading once. that will remind you of many rules about the examination and what to bring to the exam, like your ID proof or any document, like your admission ticket, everything, and just keep everything ready in one place. So let us talk about what you can do or what you need to do on the night before your GMAT. So in your mind, be clear of which colleges you want to send your score to, because there is a feature where you send your score officially through GMAT to multiple colleges, right? 5 colleges. So decide which colleges they are going to be and in what order. Just remember them. And then also remember, there is a feature that you can cancel your examination after looking at your score. So keep in your mind that it can go right or wrong, good or bad. So please be clear in your mind at what score you exactly would want to cancel the GMAT. Like keep one threshold below which you would cancel the score and above which you will keep the score. And then look for the plan for routes, your travel plan. How will you reach the center? Now, especially because of the COVID conditions, if you have to travel across districts or anything, please be clear of all whatever is required being in place. And also remember to keep your documents ready and fuel filled in your vehicle, someone to drop you, everything. Like perfectly rehearse the entire day in your mind so that you don't leave out any minute detail. So what happens generally is that people kind of, in spite of, see, this is like basic common sense. This has been told to us about our exams ever since we were children. But even then, even when I went to write my GMAT exam, there was a person who had missed a bus, some breakdown happened. The person reached the center 3 hours later than what was the actual schedule for him. That actually did not, the center was actually generous enough to give them a slot because it was available, but he was not in the mindset to actually take the exam. So whatever you can do before the exam to keep yourself in that zone and good mindset, please do that. Arrive in that city or town 1 day earlier, set everything right, stay in a good place, very close to the exam center if you are traveling into a different city or a town. So be clear of all of those things. That is like very important. So all these plans are, before the D-Day. On the D-Day, please make sure you go early. I can't emphasize on this. Go as early as possible, keeping your mind, calm, composed after having reached the exam center is very important. So that is one. Carry water bottle. You're not allowed to keep it with you in the test center, but you can keep it in the locker and access it during the breaks. Get a snack, and even the previous night, make sure you have slept well, and avoid caffeine or any alcohol, anything in the previous night, because that kind of disrupts your sleep cycle. You don't want to be cranky on the day of your exam because you did not sleep well. That actually affects your concentration, though you may argue otherwise. So please make sure you have rested well. Sometimes you may have jitters and you may not sleep well, but even then your body needs to be rested, hydrated, drink a lot of water. Don't skip breakfast on that day. Get a protein rich breakfast, however you are used to. So all of these things are very basic stuff, but many times in that exam stress and everything, we tend to forget, and that affects our exam day performance. That is actually sad. So I would advise you to focus on that. On the day of exam, be self-assured, confident and positive. I mean, you have done your best, so whatever comes, it'll come. I mean, it'll happen. So just don't worry. Be at your positive best self, and whatever may help you to do that, try and do that. Maybe you can binge watch a series before you reach the center, or listen to some music, talk to a friend. Make sure it doesn't trigger you or anything. It just gives you some calmness and positivity, right? And if you have already planned a time strategy and time splits or anything, you can, once you have gotten ready for the exam, you're just about to start, you can just write down quickly the time strategy on a rough sheet. Okay, whatever they give you, you're not supposed to take anything to the hall. Then generally what happens during the exam is, unconscious or subconsciously, our mind keeps trying to figure out how the exam is actually going, right? Is it going good, going not very good? It's an adaptive test. Am I getting easy questions one after the other? Does that mean I have done the previous problem wrong? A lot of these questions just keep coming into your mind. Try and focus at the present, at whatever you're doing at the moment. Remember this thing, that you need not score 100% right in your GMAT. That is not your expectation, right? So it is okay even if you had missed one question or not. You just don't worry about that. That is for the algorithm to take care of, not for us to worry about. What is under our control is just to focus on the present and really worry about what is in your hand and do all the problems within the given time. So this is something that I really want you to focus on. Just focus on the present. Don't worry about the previous question. Don't worry about the next question, and use the rough sheet very well. Write down every single calculation. 2 into 3 is 6. Every one of us know. If that means you have to write it down just to get it right, it's okay. You can totally write it, because many times when you write down the calculations, you tend to make lesser calculation errors. I used to do that a lot, do mental math, but I realized writing down calculations really helps. Then another tip maybe I'd give you is use those breaks. The breaks that are given to you are given for a reason. So whenever you get a break, make sure you use it. Drink water. If you want to snack slightly, do that, and come back because your biometric test is going to take a minute or two. So don't utilize the entire break that is available for you. Come back quickly as soon as you finish whatever business you are into, and then just come back to your position. So the next set of tips is specifically for this COVID situation. In the COVID situation, you're going to a test center. What does that mean? From GMAT side, there has been a mandate that you have to wear your masks all through the duration of your exam. which means it is going to be really uncomfortable because it is new for most of us. So what I would advise you to do or suggest you to do is to wear the mask and practice for a while. Try practicing problems like 1 week before, so that you get used to the sensation of wearing a mask. That is something that I would really want you to keep in mind. The second thing, don't forget to take masks to your exam center. Try and keep 2 or 3 ready in different parts, like one in your bag, one in your wallet, and one in your one wearing, just because without a mask, if you reach the center, you will not be allowed to take the GMAT test. So what happens once you enter the center, if you remove it while you're writing, they understand because it may be new for you, but the proctors will actually come and advise you to wear them back. You are supposed to wear them back during the exam. So this is about the mask. And otherwise, about your safety, be rest assured, GMAT has promised that they have sanitized the test centers really well. But our precaution is that keep social distancing as much as possible. They have accepted only few number of test takers in one slot. So try and keep as much as distance as possible, and take care of yourself, because that is very important. So the last but not the least tip is, don't try anything new completely on the day of the exam, like even from food, clothing, alcohol, caffeine, anything, right? Just before night or on the day of the exam. Not even a new shoe. Just don't try anything new and take a risk, because that can put you in discomfort. Keep yourself completely relaxed, in your best comfort zone as possible, and approach the GMAT. So if you were actually looking for some study tips to actually cram or do some study in the last few days, and that was missing in this video, I have done a separate video about that. You can watch it. That will be in the card. You can actually look at it and watch the video. That will be helpful for you. Anyways, all the very best. Do your best. This is a very important day of your life, and I'm really sure you will do a great job. All the best.